Have you ever looked around at your friends, family, or even the person you once were and wondered, why do I just not care anymore? Why do the things, people, and conversations that once meant everything to me now feel like empty noise? If you're asking yourself, did I start losing interest? Am I broken? Am I losing my way? Stay right here, because what you're about to discover could transform how you see this strange and unsettling new chapter of your life. Hey, it's the Growth Mindset Project. If you're ready for honest, actionable insights into your own growth and transformation, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss videos designed to empower your self-discovery. So, let's dig right in. That sensation of watching your own life unfold as if you're behind a pane of glass, disconnected and strangely neutral, isn't a sign that you're broken. It's not random, and it's definitely not hopeless. In fact, start losing interest is often the first clue that your entire way of being is about to shift, sometimes in ways that are as beautiful as they are bewildering. Think about your life over the last several weeks or months. You used to thrive on certain conversations, laugh at the same jokes, get invested in the same daily dramas. Now you might find yourself zoning out, feeling the weight of small talk, or quietly drifting away from topics that once kept you engaged for hours. When you start losing interest all at once, not just in hobbies or people, but even in the version of yourself that you used to be, it can feel spooky, even alarming. But here's the thing, it's not about being better than anyone else or judging others or becoming cold. It's about shifting into an entirely new frequency. If you try to tune an old radio to a station that just doesn't sound clear anymore, you know the feeling. Static, fuzz, the sense that something doesn't quite fit. That's what's happening to your relationships, your habits, your desires, and your goals. You might find yourself canceling plans more than usual, not because you don't care, but because those environments feel like clothes that are suddenly 2 sizes too small. Gatherings that once energized you now leave you feeling even lonelier than when you arrived. Conversations with people you love might start to feel strangely draining. And sometimes you can't help but check your phone, not to distract yourself, but because your mind is processing ideas, questions, and ambitions that just don't fit into surface level talk anymore. The real confusion sets in when the distance isn't just between you and other people, but between you and your old self. Suddenly, things you used to crave no longer spark excitement. Goals you chased seem empty. Hobbies that brought joy feel mechanical, hollow. You're almost grieving a past version of yourself, even though that person is technically still here. Maybe your friends and family notice you pulling away. They ask if you're okay. Some may even accuse you of changing, becoming boring, or outgrowing them. And part of you wishes you could go back to the comfort of finding joy in the familiar, to being energized by the same old things. But the truth is, nobody teaches us what it's like to undergo a genuine transformation, especially one that starts from the inside out. If you're still here, I want to ask you to hit like if this is resonating at all so far, and leave a comment about what you've noticed in your own journey. Your experience matters, and you might be surprised just how many others are in the same phase right now. See, real change isn't something that happens in broad daylight, surrounded by applause. It happens quietly, in the space between old and new. It often starts when you start losing interest in everything that once told you who you were. The universe, or whatever greater flow you believe in, needs to pull you away from the noise so you can finally hear the whisper of who you're becoming. Picture a butterfly's transformation. Inside the cocoon, the caterpillar completely dissolves, turning into something unrecognizable before it ever becomes a butterfly. If you could look inside at that stage, you wouldn't see something beautiful. You'd see a mess, chaos, formlessness. But it's the breakdown that allows the breakthrough. That's where you are when you start losing interest in the world you've known. The old patterns, interests, and social circles break down. Suddenly, the surface level stuff grates on your nerves. You're not turning antisocial, you're getting intentional. You crave deeper conversations, more solitude, richer inner experiences. The world's noise becomes overwhelming, and silence starts to feel like sanctuary. Strangely, it's in this void, when you stop pouring yourself into everyone else's energy, that your truest self starts to emerge. Without constant validation or distraction, you finally have the space to consider, what do I actually care about now? And when you listen, you hear new ideas, creative bursts, and insights rise up naturally. If you're worried this phase means you'll always feel distant or disconnected, here's your reminder. It's a phase. You're not stuck at start losing interest. It's forever. It's the setup, not the outcome. Before we dive deeper, if you're finding this helpful, give another tap on that like button. It seriously helps our channel reach people who need these insights. And don't forget to subscribe and comment. Have you felt this transformation? What changed for you? Now back to your transformation. As you keep pulling inward, expect some pushback. The people most invested in your old self may grip tighter, trying to anchor you to the familiar. They'll reminisce about the way you used to be, testing your resolve to change. It's not that they're bad, they're just attached to a version of you that's outlived its purpose. Here's a tough truth. Not every connection is meant to last through every phase of your growth. Some relationships are bridges, not destinations. As you move across, you'll see which ones adapt and which ones naturally fade away. It's not about cruelty or heartlessness. It's about matching your external world to your evolving internal frequency. You'll notice that the more you detach from drama, gossip, and endless rehashing of the world's problems, the less tolerable negativity becomes. Where you once might have run to help or intervene, now you step back, not out of apathy, but because your energy is reserved for healing, creating, and evolving. This shift isn't limited to relationships and conversation. The start losing interest phenomenon touches every area of your life. Suddenly, music and movies that used to move you don't. Social media feels jarring and unfulfilling. Even your body changes. Your sleep, eating habits, and energy cycles start to reflect your new sensitivity and priorities. Financially, you may start caring less about showing off or buying status symbols, and more about experiences and tools that foster growth. Old dreams collapse, and new ones, often still wordless, begin to take root. With all this, you learn to trust the unfolding, even when you can't clearly articulate where you're headed or why. So, if you're in the midst of this right now, questioning why you started losing interest in almost everything and everyone, remember, this is you recalibrating, not breaking down. You're creating space for new bonds, new ambitions, and a depth of self-awareness that will eventually attract the right people and experiences into your next chapter. If you want to keep deepening your journey, check out the other videos here on the Growth Mindset Project. And don't forget to hit the bell so you never miss out on new insights. Your transformation isn't just valid, it's the start of everything you're meant to become.